Yeah, I'm live after the second try. Yay. Hey there, Soul Shines. It's Michelle here, and I am inviting you to wake up and live. I just got off a video conference call thing with a presenter. He's going to be presenting at my workshop thingy, my, what do you call that? My event. He's going to be presenting. It's so exciting. I'm really, really excited about this. It's coming together. Wow. Okay, so but let's talk about what's been going on and why I was hiding and uncovering myself, right? Okay. Uncovering the things deep inside. It's still like wow that I uncovered a belief about myself. So I have done a process in my home where I took one of my goals and I took my home and I basically said, where do I need to address in my home, like cleaning wise, in order to find or in order to shift things so that this goal will be possible. So I came up with the area, and then here's what I do when I'm cleaning stuff. I look at how I feel about it. And here's the thing. I walked into that space and I just went, oh my gosh. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I feel powerless. And I tried to do a little bit of energy or belief work. It was actually belief work, not energy work, that I did on this concept a couple days ago. Looking at what beliefs I had. Why did I feel powerless? And I would ask myself the questions, because questions are so powerful. What lies underneath powerless? I feel powerless because this is how I did my first walkthrough. I feel powerless because, and then I would write the next thing, and I'd write the next thing, and do that a few times until I got to one that kind of had a lot of stuff around it. And I've done this a lot of times, and I was like, okay, got to this place, and I did that's when I did some energy work. I did some healing on this concept that I'm stupid, which doesn't even make any logical sense, but that's one of the beliefs that I've had underneath me. And we all have these beliefs under us that don't make sense. Somewhere along the way, we held on to this. Somebody maybe said something or did something, or it was repeated. Somehow it happened that we got to this idea that we are this way. Okay, it either had a strong emotion with us or was repeated over and over again. And so it gets locked into us as a belief. And as long as you have these beliefs underneath you, you are not going to be able to do the things that you want to do in your life. You may find success in some areas, but you'll always have something holding you back somewhere. Sometimes they cover everywhere in your life. Powerlessness, feeling powerlessness is its own belief, but I knew that there had to be something under it. And that's what I have been looking at. Well, today I was feeling pretty stressed. I teach homeschool to 3 of my children, and one of my boys, I adore this child. Oh, I adore him. He's the sweetest boy. But he has some pretty severe learning disabilities. He has dyscalculia, he has dysgraphia, he's dyslexic. Like, he's so his brain dysfunctions in a really sad way. I know of a solution that takes and uses acupressure to resolve it. It helps connect the pathways in the brain so that he can process things properly, and his genius will be able to come out even brighter than ever. The problem is that particular method is going to cost me close to $1,000, maybe even more, just for one kid, and all of my kids and myself could probably benefit from it. So I don't really have that as an option right now. It's an option that I would like. But as I'm here helping my little boy, And I'm just not knowing how to help him understand this concept in math. I noticed that I was feeling stuff again, and I was feeling powerless. Oh, so powerless. I still feel powerless because I haven't addressed everything underneath it, and I haven't completely cleared out powerless, but I did go deeper. So powerlessness is something that affects me everywhere, and I took a different approach today. I asked myself, what would it, how did I word it? What if I were to let go of this idea of powerlessness or something like that? And then I came up with this idea that I'd be powerful, and I did not want to be powerful. And so I was like, okay, why don't I want to be powerful? Because if I don't want to be powerful, I will always be powerless, right? Because I will always prevent myself from stepping into power because I have a fear of power. And so I will always feel powerless no matter what kind of belief work I do until I address what's preventing me from being powerful. I can never be powerful. I'll always be powerless. And that's one of the things that I've noticed is that we try to do the work on the thing, but sometimes we have to go to a different one. What's preventing it from changing? So I looked at powerful. Why am I afraid of being powerful? I had an image of my dad losing his temper. He did that a lot. Didn't want to be like him. And so I did some work about being like him. It's in your blood. It's in your DNA. It's destined. So I did some healing work about that because I also have a huge destiny. I can choose my destiny. I don't have to be a certain thing because my father is a certain way or my mother's a certain way or my grandparents, great grandparents. It doesn't matter. I get to choose who I am. So I did some work on that, but I still didn't feel like I was complete today for what I can do today. And so I went back to this idea of powerful. And I said, now that I was like no longer in my DNA kind of an idea, no longer had that as the main reason not to be powerful. I was like, okay, why don't I want to be powerful? And this is the line of thinking it went down. If I'm powerful, then I'll become prideful. Okay, so I was looking at if there's some way I can disengage this concept of prideful. Did a lot of journaling, did a lot of discussion with myself on the concept of prideful and came to this idea. I asked myself, do I still feel like I'm evil? Because that has been a belief that I've had, that I was evil. And I got this mixed message, like, well, kind of. And so I started going more with it. And what I came out with is man is an abomination to God. And I don't know if that's just my religion that talks about that, if it's in the Bible. Because I have a second set of scriptures that we do with the Bible, and sometimes I'm not sure if it's in both or if it's in one or the other. But this idea is that because I'm a human being, I'm an abomination to God. And I was like, that can't be true, because how can you ever get where you want to go in life? How can you ever get where you want to go in the next life? As I'm a very spiritual and religious person, I do believe I have the ability to be with God again. But how can I be there if I believe that I am an abomination? And so I did healing work on it. I did my process where I was like, okay, I asked myself, where is abomination held in, on, or around my body? And I was like, it's everywhere. So then I asked where the seed is held. And I continued to ask that and send the light to it, clear it up until I could no longer find it anywhere in me or on me or around me. So right now, I think it's kind of silly to ever think I was an abomination, but it had so much emotion with it. It was so true for me. And I looked at my life and I looked at how these different beliefs apply everywhere. The concept of being prideful has with it this idea that God was going to send ways to humble me if I get too prideful. If I love my smile, he's going to make reasons why for me to not love my smile, which is why I have artificial teeth. If I love my eyes, he's going to do things to my eyes that make it so that I can't love my eyes as the way that I did before. The things that I want to create physically that have any touch of vanity in it, I can't create because I believe it's prideful. And as long as I have that belief that things that I want to create are prideful or will lead me to be prideful and therefore create a reason for me to be humbled, as long as I have those kind of beliefs, I'm not going to be able to create what I want. I cannot create the life that I want if I have any belief attached to it that says it's wrong. And so that's why we do this kind of work. That's why we do the uncovering work. In general, the concept is ask yourself, why am I fabulous? Why am I awesome? Why am I getting what I want? What would it take if I had what I want, what would I be? And in general life, you want to focus on the positive, but there are times that you want to ask those questions that dig deeper into what you're feeling. It's not about dwelling in an unhealthy place. It's about getting to the bottom of it so that you can get it out of there and feel in a better place. So there's a couple ways that you can do this. You can ask yourself a lot of questions like, is there something underneath this? When you get to a belief, somehow you look at something and you're like, dang it, I feel powerless. Is there a belief underneath it? If you are getting a yes, it's best to do it on paper. I can tell you that. I sometimes try to do it in my mind and it works, but it's a lot, I get sidetracked a lot easier. If you can sit down with paper, sometimes just you write that initial thing and you're allowed to get the next thing. So you can ask yourself questions. Why do I believe that I'm powerless? And why take that next question and ask it. And actually, somewhere in Lydia Taggart's video today, wait, did she post that today? What day is today? She might have posted it yesterday and I finally watched it. I don't know. But her most recent video, she calls it 7 Layers Deep. And she has, she actually goes through the process that she's done on one of her things. So that's one way. And another way is to say, I think, or I feel this way. I think I'm powerless because I feel powerless because, and then you write it out. And then whatever comes next, you take that and you're like, this, because. And when you put that because, you're engaging your subconscious brain and taking you to the next place. When you ask yourself, why do I feel this way? It's a similar kind of thing. So you can ask yourself these questions, sit down with the journal and keep going, at least 7 layers. I go until I hit one that it is so, like, it brings up the emotion. Like this powerlessness, when I get off of here, I'm going to be looking at that because I couldn't look at it right after I did all the abomination stuff because I just moved way too much stuff energetically. I was feeling very exhausted. But I'm noticing that I'm feeling it again. I kind of go numb for a little while as my body's processing it. And when I come out of that numb feeling, then I can ask myself if I'm ready to do more. I'm really want powerlessness, the pride cycle concept, all that pride. I want to have that gone. I want to believe that I can be a humble person just because I'm a humble person and I choose to be humble. I don't want to believe that I'm a humble person because I'm afraid of becoming prideful or because something's going to happen. So I got to look at that. And so I hope that you try this. If you're feeling something, especially if you have something that comes up a lot, if you're constantly feeling like people are accusing you something, that's just one that I notice a lot. Like, people get really angry. Like, so many people say this about me, but it's not true. If a lot of people are saying it about you, journal it, because it may be true to a degree, and it may be something you're trying to avoid about yourself, and so you can't see it in yourself, Or you may realize that there's something you're doing in your actions that are making people think that. It could be that you act a certain way with certain people to protect yourself. Do these kind of questioning things, what is it about me that causes everybody to say those kind of things? Let's stop blaming everybody else for our problems. Let's look inside. That's my point there. If I'm everywhere I go, the word I use the most in my life is I feel overwhelmed. I'm creating this event and there's aspects of it that I'm just like, I feel so overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed when I look at certain aspects of my home. I have things that I want to accomplish. I'm like looking down at them. I have this tote and this laundry basket that are full of stuff that I need to go through. And I just look at them and I start to feel overwhelmed. There's a lot of decisions to be made in those baskets. A lot of like, do I keep it? Where do I let go of it? If I keep it, where do I keep it? And so it feels overwhelming to me. There's things outside of this room. This is my space, so everything in here I get to take care of. Outside of this room, it's super overwhelming because it's not even my stuff. And I don't know where to start with other people's stuff, or do I start it all? So there's all these questions. So I feel overwhelmed a lot in my life. And so that's one of those areas where if it comes up a lot, I'm going to journal it so that I can find what's deep down underneath. I can't ever remember her name. Mind Valley, that channel has a person that they feature every once in a while. Sometimes they replay our videos. It's like Kristen, I don't know. She's blonde. She talks about money blocks. She talks about there being 29 different things. Anyway, there's these things about money blocks, and she has a technique for clearing the energy that I love. So do your journaling, ask all those questions, get deep, and then find where it is in your body. I'm not going to talk about that today because I do want to actually do a video on exactly how to do this process that I do once I get to the deep beliefs. It's kind of a chasing thing for me. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something today. I hope it's valuable for you. I'm super excited to see where some of these changes in my life take me. Will it help me release some of my perfectionism thing? Because I have had a need to be absolutely the perfect person I could be. And maybe without this crazy belief underneath it, I won't need that so desperately. Because when you're holding on to it, you'll never get it. But when you let go of it and you just live life to your best, that's when things happen. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Have a fabulous, fabulous evening, morning, day, afternoon, whatever time it is for you. It happens to be evening right now for me. Remember, let your soul shine big, bright, live, and beautiful. Be the incredible you that you were designed to be. Seriously, the one underneath all the crap, be that person.